Alright, so here we are, the affiliate marketing dude. We gotta take the old van because we got a lot of stuff for our live Orlando meeting, which is starting tomorrow. So I gotta drive there, gotta haul all this stuff up to the room, which we'll have help with, which is good. And tomorrow we're gonna be filming some stuff live from the Orlando meeting, so stay tuned, check it out. Alright, so here we are setting up for the Simple Sites Bootcamp Live. You can see we've got a big room here set up, ready to go. We got to set up all of our stuff here, whiteboards, TVs, all kinds of stuff, so pretty cool. And there's my room, which can't go in there. That's my room. Then over here we have this. I think what I'm going to do is set us up looking this way over here. Hopefully you guys don't get dizzy. But over there, so it should be pretty cool. We should get a good camera angle, and then you guys can see, if we look out the window here, you see all kinds of like golf courses and stuff, which is pretty cool. So, this could be pretty good. A little bit different than the skylofts we usually have them at in Vegas, but figured this would be kind of cool since it's close to home. I can bring all my gear without any problems. So, let's see how it goes. Okay, let's see. Notes. Had notes somewhere. All right, so if you guys did not see the first part of the entrepreneur class, that is up. You guys can watch it later tonight or on your flight home or whatever. It's affiliatedude.com/ENT, capital ENT. What we're doing in this part is we're going to continue with that, and we are on part 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And what we're going to start with is entrepreneur action steps. All right, so let's see here. All cameras on? Good? Cool. All right, so what I want to start with is action steps you can take. I was talking to someone earlier. Luckily, he found me having a cigar because otherwise he wouldn't know where we were. He was like, I came all the way from Missouri and I didn't know the room number, or Mississippi, didn't know the room number, but luckily he found me. And he was talking about like, how do you get started with this stuff? What's the best way to get started? How do I make a change? Because he had an issue in his life where he's like, I need to do this now. I got to do it. Like, there's no question. It's like me when I started. I had a kid on the way and I had no job. I had no stable nothing. And I was like, okay, how do I make this work? Right, and so I had to make it work. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have like the luxury of, well, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 5 years. So what I did is I focused on part 4, which is action steps. Now, what I find is that a lot of people, when they do internet marketing, they have a pattern, right? Everyone here has a pattern. You have a pattern when you go on your computer and you think about what you want to do. And usually the pattern looks like this. You check your email, you check your Facebook, you check what other people are doing, you look at sites, maybe check out some niches, but you're never actually doing the things that make money, right? What are the things that actually bring in money? Is it site building? Is it designing logos? What is the stuff that makes money? Now you can do all the design stuff, but that's not the stuff that makes money. Like what you want to do is you want to break it down and you want to look at what is stuff that I could pay people to do, right? You don't want to be doing that, okay? If you could pay someone to build a website, you should not be building websites, okay, unless you could do it quick. But if you're taking, 7, 8 hours to build a website, a day, 2 days to build a website, I have customers who come to me and they're like, I've been playing with this one thing for, a month and it's not working. And it's like, well, stop playing with that. Go do the stuff that makes money. Have someone else do it. So we got to look at the things that really puts money in our pocket, okay? What are those things? One, getting traffic, okay? This is the biggest thing. I see people who come to me all the time and they're like, Marcus, what's the best way to learn affiliate marketing? I need a good course. I'll pay $2,000 for a course, whatever, I don't care. And they'll come to me and I'm like, well, a course is good as long as you get the right guy to teach it. But most people would learn more spending $100 on paid traffic, even if they lose it, than they would learning any course, right? Because you're going to learn, like, this is what people are doing, this is what they're clicking, this is where they're going to go. So what I want everyone to do is figure out a budget that you're cool with and get some traffic and plan on losing it. Be like, I'm going to lose 100, that's what I'm going to do. That's my next course, right? Because that's going to teach you, that's going to force you to do this stuff. Because when you look at it, like, I can build a website all day if I'm getting free traffic. Like, free traffic is probably the worst thing that an entrepreneur could look at getting, because it's like, well, it's free, right? And there's guys out there that teach on YouTube, they teach all over the place about free traffic, and I look at their numbers, right? Like, I'm a numbers guy. This is what I look at. They come in, they're like, I'm getting 60,000 visitors a month, making $900 to $1,800 a month. I look at that and I'm like, if I made that, I would be broke. Like, totally broke. Because what happens is when you pay for traffic, it forces you to learn to convert it. Forces you. Like, if you're paying $1 a click, you have to convert it or that dollar goes out. And then it goes out. And by the time the end of the day's up, you're like, well, I just spent $100 and no one did anything. Right now, when you get free traffic, it's good, but we want to focus on paid traffic, because this is what's going to teach you. That's what's going to teach you, running an ad. It's going to teach you how to get people to click, right? One thing that free traffic doesn't do also is it doesn't teach you to write an ad, right? Because you're just like, okay, Google's going to rank it. They're going to put my title. They're going to put my other stuff. And I never really learn, right? So I want everyone to get in the habit of learning paid traffic. Like, if you learn this skill, you can always make money, because there's always traffic to buy. And here's the secret. Traffic is cheap. There are influencers, there are social media people, there are YouTubers, there's people all over the place that do not know how to monetize traffic. And this, I'll write it in red because it's important, is the biggest gap. Okay? If you know how to convert traffic, you can go to that guy who's got 60,000 visitors and you could be like, dude, I'll give you $2,200 for your traffic. And he'll jump up and do a little dance and take your $2,200 and you'll be making like 10 grand. Just don't tell him what you're doing, because he'll go behind your back and do the same thing. Right? Happens sometimes, happened to me once. But this is the biggest gap, because people don't know how to convert traffic. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get people in. So that is one of the action steps that you got to look at, is how do I get this? Now, we want to look at this and we want to say, okay, I want to take action right now. What can I do right now? A lot of people ask me, Marcus, what's the fastest way to make money online? How fast can I make money? I want to make it right now. And I say, theoretically, with my famous disclaimer that everyone loves, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed, don't ever listen to anything I say. I am a lunatic. But with that said, you can literally make money right now. Like, if you wanted to make, if you had to, and you were like, I want to make money before the 2 days is up, that could happen. Why? Because there's people there. Right now, there are people on the internet. Right? Does anyone disagree with that? Right now we got, what? A couple people watching this live, right? And you guys can still hear me on the Zoom. If you can, let me know. Cool, right? So right now there's people, right? There's people on Facebook right now. So instead of checking Facebook to see, you know, what little Timmy looks like, which you should do, you know, as long as Timmy's cool and everything, you know, check it out. But you should also look at it and say, there's people right now that I can reach, right now, that have money. And now there's a thing in people's brains when they learn to be an entrepreneur that says, if I can't afford it, then I probably shouldn't sell it. Right? This is a big gap where they say, well, you know, I don't buy things that are $100,000 on the internet. I don't do that. Marcus, I can't do that. No one does that. There are people that do that. And guess what? You only need one of those a year to make a good living. So we got to look at that, and we got to say, right now there are people, and right now there is stuff to sell. Right? So right now, there are people online, and right now there is stuff to sell online. So when could you make money? Right now, right? So really cool. All right, let's get into other action steps, and I have my notes here. Let's see, okay. Okay, so action steps like that. What are other action steps you can do? Okay, paid traffic is a big one. Another one is building a list. Okay, building a list is a very important thing. This is an email list. You guys all familiar with that? You've all heard me talk about building a list. This is an important thing because building a list you can actually use to generate money on demand, and you can use to catapult your next thing. Right? So like when I come out with something, people are like, well, dude, how'd you do that and get, 2,000 views overnight? I'm like, well, I sent it to my list. right? So that's something you want to look at. That's an action step you can take, is building a list, okay? So building a list is a huge, huge action step that you can take. Another one would be participating. This is something that a lot of people don't look at. This is what took one of my businesses from about $230 its first month to, I think with that one, we've done a little over 3 million with it. And the reason it did that is because I participated in the market. I went through and I was like, okay, what do these people want? What do they have to say? The reason I put on these, I like to help you guys, I like to train, but I also like to get feedback. Why? If I meet you guys, I know who the people out there are, right? So if you participate, you can go on forums, you can go on like chat sites, you can do Facebook groups. Okay, how many of you guys saw the webinars I've been doing with Kim? Raise your hand if you saw those. You saw those? Okay, Kim literally saw a webinar with me. She had me on for an interview. She had me on that training, and she was like, she's learning about downloads and software. She goes and makes a software. Cost her $380. She goes in Facebook groups, and she's like, hey, I made a software for Facebook group owners. You guys all have Facebook groups. Who wants to buy it? She made like 70 grand in a couple months off of it. Free traffic from Facebook groups. Now this traffic is different than like SEO. So there's several different free traffic. You got SEO, you got YouTube, you got Facebook groups. This free traffic is different because it's targeting a group, right? You're targeting that specific people, and you are actually making ads, because when you post, you actually have an ad. So there's lots of ways that you can leverage things. There's lots of ways you could leverage other people's groups. Like right now, that entire launch we're doing, I think at the end of the week, we should be over 6 figures on it, and we've been doing it 9 days, 10 days. All Facebook groups. Didn't pay a dime for traffic. Now, with the exception of my list, I did probably a third of that with my list. But still, that's a lot of money. Now, I look at that, and I'm like, okay, that's all just Facebook groups. Now, the key is in looking at what are my action steps going to be, because you can go on Facebook like everyone else and post a bunch of junk, right? And no one's going to listen. How many of you guys have posted something and you're like, no one listens to me, right? I do. Like probably 50% of the time people don't listen. Now what you have to do is you have to learn to post things to the right people at the right time. Because if you can do this, they're there right now, there's probably 500 million people on Facebook, or 300 million or something crazy, okay? So participating. So we got build a list, participate, we got buy traffic. Other things you can do is sell. Now a lot of people look at this. How many of you guys are like, if you're honest, you're afraid of sales? Anyone? Oh, we got a good group. I love sales. I actually started in sales. I used to sell computers at a, is that my computer or someone else's? Mine? Okay. Cool. So yeah, I like sales. We should not be afraid of sales. We should learn, and we're actually going to talk about it tomorrow. We have our sales class where we're going to talk about how to sell. Like, how do we sell online? Like, if you don't want to be up here talking, if you don't want to be on a webinar, how do we sell? What do we say? Right? Because this is all about words. That's why on my webinars I always talk about the magic ad. How many of you guys remember the magic ad story? Everyone? Cool. The magic ad was magic balloons, comedy, and fun. Magic balloons, comedy, and fun, and then I changed it to make your child's party unforgettable. Right? And so we look at that, and I'm like, okay, the difference was $900 to $5,000 a month, right? Just off the words. So what we have to do is we have to learn the words to say. We have to learn exactly what they want to hear, and we need to learn to put power behind our words, right? It's not just like, hey, dude, check out my thing on Facebook. That might work, but we have to power it, okay? So another thing is learning what to say. Let's see what else we have. Okay, cool. So that's I think we did part 3 was action steps. So yeah, part 3, there we go. Part 3 was action steps. Now part 4, we're going to go through, and part 4 of the entrepreneur class is going to be how to spot and capitalize on opportunities that are literally right in front of your face right now. Okay, so we're going to do part 4, spot and capitalize. Okay, a lot of you guys hear me say the most important thing in affiliate marketing or internet marketing is what? Right? Anyone got a guess? What's the most important thing? Like apart from anything. Keyword, okay? Traffic. Speed. Okay. Anyone else? Showing up. Well, showing up is good. Yeah. The most important thing is your niche, the market. Right? It's the most important thing, hands down. If you don't have the right market, you're out. Okay? So the most important thing is your niche. Now, a niche could be a lot of things. Now, I know I talk a lot about keyword-driven niches. Okay? And keyword-driven niches are great. Like you go through, you're like, this is what people are looking up. I can use that. Right? So we're like, okay, these people are looking for how to save money on a car. Good. I can use that. Now, there's other niches as well. Right? There's niches out there on Facebook. There's niches out there on YouTube. There's niches out there in email lists. Like right now, you could go and you could buy emails in other people's lists for certain niches. Okay? And what I look at is the whole idea is you are taking this market, and it's like this, and you are skimming the people that you want off the top. So this is why paid traffic is so important. Because if you're going to do a paid ad, if you're going to do an email ad, if you're going to do a banner ad, if you're doing whatever, you could literally go to any site on the web that offers advertising. You could go to any email list on the web that offers advertising. And you could go and you can put an ad. So like a lot of you guys see my ads on OfferVault. A lot of people think I own OfferVault. I wish I did, but I don't. Just happens to be another Mark. So great guy though. So we have ads on OfferVault, right? I pay a lot for those. Now, those ads, my goal is to take the people off of OfferVault and skim the people that I want. Now, there's certain people on OfferVault who are not going to care. They're like, I don't care what Marcus is talking about. I don't care anything. They're not going to click my ad. Now, you can do this with any site, any email list, anything. You can go to an email list and you could say, okay, I'm going to buy an email broadcast for $80 or $300 or whatever, okay? And you look at it, and we'll teach you guys how to do this more as the days go on. You can go buy an email broadcast. Now, here's the key. You know your niche, okay? What kind of list does the guy have? And you go out there and you're like, okay, this guy has a list for home improvement, or he's got a list for affiliate marketing or make money online. Okay, so let's do a little test, and let's see if you could do this. So I'm going to say we have a list, and let's say it's for BizOp. Okay? It's a list of people who are interested in generic business opportunities. If you had a chance, you just gave a guy $300, and he's going to send an email to 10,000 people or 100,000 people or whatever it is. What is it you want to say to those people? Right? What would you want to say to skim the people off that you want? Very important, because if you could do this, this is one of the tasks that you could look at and you could spot and capitalize and be like, okay, now if I could spot this, if I could see, again, remember, these guys don't know what their traffic is worth. They don't know what it's worth because these same people that are selling these ads promote webinars for me, and they're selling their ads for like 30 cents a click, and I'm giving them like $9 a click with the webinar. They have no idea what it's worth. So I'm like, I'll buy all the traffic all day long. Right? So we got to spot these. Now, the way that this is going to work is you have to be smarter than the people that are doing this. Now, here's the thing. Most marketers, including myself, are lazy. There's a lot of, like, I don't do split testing. A lot of people do split testing. Sometimes I'll do split testing on banner ads, but like split testing email, I'm like, I don't want to do that. But most people are lazy, right? And so these people are lazy, and here's the deal. You could literally go and say, I want to run 3 different banner ads on your site, right? You run the 3. One says, download a toolbar. One says, click here for recipes. Another says, here's how to lose weight. You could literally, in a matter of days, figure out what his traffic wants. And he doesn't even have any idea, right? So we can go in and we can look at that and we could be like, boom, I could skim that off the top. I can make that work. Okay, so if I was going to run an ad for like a BizOp thing, I could test something out. I could say, here's how to build websites and make $50 a day. See if anyone opens, right? That's the first thing. See if they open. Okay, so here's the numbers you want to look at. Okay, when you're spotting these opportunities, you want to look at how many people open, if it's an email. If it's a banner, how many click? Okay, these are powerful numbers because you look at it, and again, when I do banner ads, every time I run banner ads, the banner ad company or the guy owning the website says, what the hell are you doing? Like, the guy that was our best banner ad gets 0.2% click-through rate, you're getting 1. Like, how do you do that? And the way you do it is by focusing on the market. Like, you want to make this good, you go through and you make your banner look like his site. As much as he'll let you get away with. Okay, some people are total, like, some people don't like that. We'll put it that way. But if you can make it look like their site, like if your banner is in a blue box, make your banner blue. It's going to look like a site, have it have text. Don't put pictures, don't put the product, don't put a price. Make it look like it. When you're doing email, make it look like value, right? How many of you guys go and you check your email every day and you're like I know there's some people out there that are like, I'm waiting for Marcus's email, and I thank you. I thank you dearly. Very few people do. Most people are out there and they're like, I just need to check my email because maybe I got a hotel confirmation, or maybe I need to see about this, or maybe there's a bill to pay. People are not checking email to see your marketing message. People are checking email to check their stuff. So, is that my phone? Do you want to check that? All right. So yeah, we want to look at that and we want to be like, what's the deal here? How can we look at this? So how can I intersect that? People on Facebook. How many people do you think are going on Facebook looking for your ad? 0. No one does. No one cares, right? So you have to make them care. You have to learn the art of spotting what they're after and saying, how do I capitalize on this? How do I give them something irresistible? And how do I monitor what they want, right? How do I look at that and how do I focus? Okay, so we want to look at what they open, what they click. We want to be able to spot this. Now, there's other things you can spot as well. Like if you're doing YouTube, get in on trends, right? You can go out there and you could be like, okay, all the other people in my niche are talking about this topic. And I actually use this on my Talk Sober channel. And how many of you guys have seen that or heard about it? Okay, you've seen it. Alcohol channel, just started it. Don't do big marketing on it. But I wanted a lot of views. And so I went out there and I was like, okay, I'm making these videos about like gel on a curve and how to stop drinking, how to know if I'm an alcoholic. And then I came across these 3 videos. And these 3 videos were all about 10 things that happened when I quit drinking. And I was like, okay, I didn't really think of making a video like that, but because they're doing it, and they had like 3 million views, 100,000 views, and my channel was new at the time. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to capitalize on that, and I'm going to make a video about the top 10 things that happened when I quit drinking. Made a video, took like 10 minutes to make, uploaded it, used the same kind of stuff that they used, not copying, you're just like piggybacking, you know what I mean? So you're not going to use the same titles or anything like that. You're going to go through and you're going to use a variation. Because of that, that video just hit 200,000 views in a niche that's like $70 a click, right? And it's free traffic. Now, is that traffic worth $70 a click? Of course not. Otherwise, I'd be sitting on a beach somewhere. Although I do live at the beach, so who knows. But that's the deal, right? We got to look at that and be like, hey, that's how it works. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? And you can do that. Like if you go after it, like YouTube, if you guys are looking for traffic and you can't get traffic, you should be doing YouTube. Like it is not hard to do. There are tools out there. We talk about it all the time. Amazon Poly. Okay, if you don't want to use your voice, Amazon Poly is a good one. You could literally type your text in. It'll do an MP3. You put it in your video editor, and it's pretty good. I mean, some of the voices sound funny, but just pick one that sounds good and a good speed. And you could put that in something like Camtasia, and literally you can make videos very, very fast with that. Okay, so let's see where we're at. So yeah, being able to look at this is training your brain to see differently, right? Instead of looking at sites, instead of looking at, like when you go to Amazon, you guys probably go, and what do you look for? Like the best price or free shipping or something? I look at what the person's doing, right? I'm like, okay, where'd he get that? What's his title? Why did he do that, right? I want you guys to get in the habit of looking at everything like a marketer, right? Stop using the web as just a guy or a gal and look at it like a marketer. When you see banner ads, look at them, click it, say, where's it go? When you see ads on Google, look at them. Where do they go? What are they doing? This is something that I brought up on one of our webinars recently. I don't know if you guys were on it. It was one of the software ones, and we've done like way too many in the last couple weeks. And we were going through looking at the sites where I watch the news. Have you guys seen those? Like I go to, what is it? Live News On or something like that. It's like just some guy's site where he found a way to stream the news on his site, and you can watch all 5 different channels at one time, which I do because I don't just like to watch one thing. I have to obsess over everything. So I watch 5 at a time. And he has ads, and those ads are for toolbars. Like you could go do that. He's running ads via Google. He's running them to the Watch TV toolbar. He's getting paid $3 a click. Like, there's one guy doing it. Anyone here can go do that. Not hard to do. Now, here's the thing. He leads them direct to the landing page. You guys can actually do better if you lead them to your page. Because the landing page doesn't sell that good. So we want to look at that. Those kind of things are things that you can get in right now. You could spot them, and you could be like, okay, how am I going to see this? How do I capitalize? Facebook groups. Huge. Anyone here can start a Facebook group. Anyone. Super easy. You go click Facebook group, start. If you don't know how to do it, just Google how to start a Facebook group. And you could literally build your group by providing value in other groups, right? Again, spotting and capitalize, it's about skimming off the people you want. You could literally go out there and say, here's Facebook group 1, Facebook group 2, Facebook group 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skim the people off by providing value, right? So I go out there and I'm like, okay, Facebook group 1, here's a post. Here's what happened to me when I was learning to quit drinking. And everyone will comment and say, pretty cool, whatever. And then you skim them off, you put them to your group. Do the same thing here, do the same thing here. Pretty soon it'll start growing on its own. Once you have that group, if it's your group, you can advertise in it all the heck you want. Doesn't matter, right? Which is cool. And you can even have lives. Like if you have a live in a group, that works good as well. How many of you guys are Facebook users? Everyone? Yeah? Anyone not? Okay. You are or not?
Not.
Not? Okay, cool. Pretty much everyone.
Are you concerned that I have kind of backed off of it lately? There's been a lot of reports in the news that Facebook is dying and Instagram is becoming the thing.
They own both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those reports will always come and go. Like affiliate marketing's dead. I'm out of a job. There was news reports. I'm done. Like we're not even here. So you can't trust those because they always have, like that sells. Like if I say something's dying, that sells. Will it get superseded? Probably eventually, maybe not. It's pretty powerful. But I don't think it's going anywhere in the next 5 years. And it's certainly not today. Again, skim the people off. So if you think it's leaving, now's the time to do this. Skim them off, get them. And that's what I would look at, is like, go where the people are now, right? Because sometimes in this business, you get good at a tactic that fades. I did a lot with MySpace. MySpace isn't dead, but it's like wiggling around on the floor and probably should be like put out back, right? Poor dude bought it for $580 million and just ran it to the ground, just to the ground. But Facebook superseded it. But I made a couple million off of it. So I'm like, that's cool, you know, that's whatever. So you got to look at that. And sometimes in business, that's going to happen. It's like when electric cars come out, Ford's going to make electric cars. They're not going to just go and not do it. And there's going to be a window. There's going to be a window where there's like something where it's like there's the electric converter thing, and that guy's going to get super rich because he spotted the opportunity. So we got to get in the habit of it, and sometimes it'll be a short-lived thing, sometimes it'll be long time. And it doesn't really matter. Like, what matters is what goal do you want out of it, right? I built the Simple Sites, Big Profits, Simple Sites Bootcamp business on Google Ads. Then Google Ads highly regulated BizOps stuff, and because I'm a chicken, I never ran them again. I just was scared and I never did. I run them now, but that was short-lived, and I actually still live on those ads from 2009. Like, that still pays the bills. Those people are still buying, they're still doing stuff. So some things you do are going to be short-lived, some things you do will be long-lived. The key is to take the short-lived and put them into something that you own, right? So with the Facebook group, you don't want these, like YouTube, Facebook, anything where you're using a different platform, you want to own as many people as you can. Okay, and what I mean by that is get them on your list. Get them to know about you. Get them in push notifications. Push notifications, how many of you guys get mine? It's like a little thing that pops up, and it's like pretty much a lot, or 3. I think that we can call that a lot, right? So push notifications are one where the open rate is ridiculous. Like, I think we have 4,000 people on our push notification, which is not big by any means. And it instantly puts 100 people wherever I want, 200 people wherever I want. And it's instant, like you could watch them, see them right there. Another thing to look at is tools on your site, like live chat. If anyone wants to learn marketing super fast, here's what I want you to do. I want you to build a site, and I want you to provide some decent value, okay? I want you to put live chat on the site, okay? So when you put live chat on, I want you to put it in the WordPress footer, okay? That way it's on everything on your site, okay? So you put it on the WordPress footer. Now what that's gonna do, apart from being able to talk to your audience, which if you want to, talk to your audience, might as well, you can sell stuff. But what it's gonna do is you're gonna run a paid ad on a day off or a day that you have free, okay? Spend $100, $300, whatever, depending on your market. If your market's 10 cents a click, spend $100. If it's $1 a click, spend $300. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to set pages up, okay? And you're gonna set your page up to where your front page has like the opt-in, okay? Where they put their name and email. Second page probably has like a sales thing. Other page has something else. And what you want to do is you want to watch what they do. Watch what they click on. And this live chat, like I'm probably a little too obsessed with my live chat. And how many of you guys have argued whether it's me or not? Okay, this guy. A lot of people are like, Marcus, if you run this business, why are you on live chat? I'm like, it teaches me about my customers. And I know if I go on live chat, like, my wife will be there. She's watching Judge Judy, which I can't stand, or Game of Thrones, which I know I'll probably get like beat up in the hallway, but I'm not into Game of Thrones yet. But she'll marathon Game of Thrones, and she's like, sit with me. And I'm like, I could go make money. She's like, just sit here. And so I'll get my laptop, and I'll put my live chat. And I'm like, that's cool. We just watched Judge Judy, and I made like $2,000. Pretty cool. So live chat can make you money, and it's going to teach you about your market. That's the most important thing. Like, knowing about your market is key. Knowing what they click, knowing what they do, knowing what they're into. Why do you think Facebook is so obsessed with everything you do? Like, literally, they probably know where we're at right now. That's kind of scary, but you know, I'm not too threatened by Zuckerberg. So we gotta look at that. But that's the thing, is like they know everything. The companies that get the most data, that know the most about their customers, is where they're gonna make the money. All right, how we doing in internet land, everyone? Is anyone here watching it live? No? Okay. Cool. Sure.
On the live chat that you have on your website that I've seen, when you click on it, of course, I didn't see any opt-in option in there. Is this about getting my questions answered or something like that?
Yeah.
How would you go into the opt-in page when on a live chat app? Could you just...
Okay, so he's asking, on the live chat, there's no opt-in. So like, could someone join a mailing list? What I would do, when someone comes on live chat, the first thing I try to do is sell them. I'm like, if I'm gonna sit there behind live chat, I'm gonna make some money. And so that's the first thing I'll do, is try to sell people. Some people don't wanna buy stuff right away, which is cool. And then what I'll do is I'll tell them where to get other stuff. So I'll be like, oh, hey, you just want free stuff? Go get my free toolbar. They have to opt in to get it. And 9 times out of 10 they will. But the main thing is the job of your website is to get them to opt in. This is like a secondary. So yeah. But it's pretty cool. Like that's when we stopped using GoToWebinar and we started using YouTube with the page. You guys have seen that? Yeah. Where you guys watched the webinar and it's YouTube. It's got the page with the chat and my stuff, but it's actually on my page. We started doing that, and I'll log in on Wednesday. There'll be like 200 people there waiting, and it's like you can chat with them all. And I just hire people to chat with them and sell them and close them, and so it works really well. Another thing that's really cool is you're going to get data on them that says how many pages they've looked at. It'll show like when they hop from page to page, so it'll be like page 1, page 2, page 3. So you can kind of see what they're into. So like if I know, and I've thought about like actually trying this, and I've done it a couple times where people will come on, I know they're on the page to buy something, and I'll be like, I see you're interested in this. Sometimes it freaks them out, but sometimes it's not too bad. But you'll know. Like you'll know before how to answer them, but you'll also see the flow of your site, which is cool. Another tool you can use if you don't want to do live chat is Crazy Egg. Okay, Crazy Egg is a tool that you put on and you get what's called a heat map. Have you guys heard of heat maps? Okay, so your website, let's say it looks like this. Let's say you have a video and you have an opt-in box and you have a bunch of links down here. What the heat map will do is it'll go in and it'll show you color codes of what's being clicked on most. So like I'll go in and it'll be like, oh man, everyone's clicking on the video. And then you can actually go in and be like, okay, that guy clicked the video and he came from this search term. And then you can go in and it'll be like, well, a couple people hit this or whatever. And then it'll actually show you like more people actually clicked on this than this, which means more people actually put their name than actually opted in. So you need a juicier offer. And then it'll go through and it'll tell you what people are clicking on. That's an important one. Now that one's kind of a pain in the butt to set up if you're doing multiple pages. So, just kind of use it either way for that.
So Crazy Egg.
Crazy Egg, and that guy's got good marketing videos too. Neil Patel, have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got good stuff.
He's expensive.
Is he? He was the founder of Crazy. I called him back when he started Crazy Egg in like 2006, and I tested out his product and I liked it, so that's pretty cool. You can also do this with our plugins. So like there's the plugin for, I forgot what we called it. Does anyone know what we called the grid plugin? We just redid it. I forget what it's called now. Something. Let's see if it's on here. Well, anyway, it's the new grid plugin. And what it does is it allows you to have boxes on your site. So you would have your site and you'd be like, what do you want to learn or something like that. And then you'd have little boxes. So box 1 would have an image. Box 2 would have an image. So let's say you're doing like a vacation site. You can go through and be like, okay, where do you want a vacation? And you're like, here's a mountain, here's a beach, here's, I don't know, the jungle. People go to the jungle. Here's like a safari or something. And you can have different pictures, and what'll happen is you're gonna watch and you'll see what they click on the most. Okay, that data is important. That's more important than anything you can theorize, anything you can guess. That data is important, okay? All right, let's see here. All right, okay, cool. So that was how to spot and capitalize, and I know we went into other stuff as well, so I think it's good so far. Okay, so part 5. Is understanding human nature. This is important. Understanding human nature is everything. Okay, this is the key. Like when you look at it, so often we're tempted to build our sites based on how we search for stuff, build our sites based on what we want, build our sites based on what we think the market wants. but we need to get in the habit of understanding human nature. We need to ask questions. Now, if you want to learn to make a lot of money or a little money or extra money, what's with the vacuum, dude? Like vacuuming the door away. If you want to learn this, you need to understand human nature. Okay, human nature is absolutely crucial and huge. Okay, so we got to look at that and be like, okay, instead of looking at what niche or whatever, learn how and why people search. Okay? One of the important things you can look at is the Google suggestions. Okay? Google puts suggestions up because they know what people are going to look for after. Right? So it's like, why won't my dog stop eating my shoes? Stop pooping in the house? Stop barking, stop biting. It's going to show you all of them, right? That right there is gold, because now you know when you build this page, they just gave you all the topics to put in there, right? You go in, you bid on the word, you see what they click on, and now you can customize these to different landing pages that have a sales message for it, right? There we go. That have a different sales message for it. So I can have one.
Google suggestions?
Yes, it's at the bottom of Google. You can also use Uber Suggest, a good keyword tool as well. Those are pretty good too. Okay. And I've got to say hi to someone from Sweden watching. What's his name? Let's see. Kalai from Sweden. How you doing? Okay. So understanding human nature is very big. We got to understand how our minds work and how other minds work. What tends to happen is we typecast our audience the way we think. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. Because if I typecasted my audience the way I think, I'd be like, okay, everyone's advanced. They all want to learn the advanced tactics of making money. Most of my people still want to learn how to build a website. And they will always want to learn that. And so we got to keep that in mind. So how and why people search, we got to look at, what was the other one? Understanding how the mind works. How do people think? How do they come to conclusions? Here's a tip that is big if you're going to sell stuff. If you can make someone come to the conclusion you came to without outright telling them, they'll buy anything you want. Right? You want to get them down the path. Now, stories, some people come on and they're like, I hate your webinars when you just tell stories. And I'm like, that's fine because those sell. Like if I do a webinar and I'm like, here's how to set up a website, no sales. 10 sales, small. If I do a webinar and I'm like, here's the story of how I did this, always sells. Everything, even in alcohol addiction niche, weight loss niche, story sell. I remember one time at our last live meeting, this guy came on and we were talking about how to sell to the weight loss market. And we were talking about different headlines. And he's like, dude, put these two pictures on the monitor. And so I put these two pictures up, and he had this picture of him when he was like 450 pounds, and another picture when he was like 160. And he's like, that right there sells. Why? Because it's a story. This guy lost this weight, now he looks like this. So we got to look at how human nature is. We got to look at the pictures we use on our site. Like so many people just put pictures and content just to have pictures and content. They don't actually go through and be like, what's the structure of it? So I want you guys to start to think about this stuff and start to look at it. Let's see. There's also cognitive biases you could look at. I would definitely recommend getting a book on cognitive biases. If you guys want the actual book, I can look it up after. I forget the name of it, but like if you look up cognitive biases, it's like one of the three. There's major biases people have, and there's major things that they look at, and they affect the way people make decisions. They affect the way people think. And if you can learn those, if you can learn how the mind works, that's what this is about, right? So the internet is learning about how people search, how the mind works, and how people make decisions. That's all it is. If you learn that, it'll work in everything. That's why it was so important for me to learn that lesson with the magic ad, because it taught me this is what makes people respond. This is what makes people pick up the phone and call. So yeah, we got to ask, why are they thinking? Why are they looking at this? What do they want? What's the ultimate outcome? And this also goes back to like, what does someone really want? No one really wants to just lose weight. They want to feel better. They want to look better. No one really wants to make money. They want to, give the finger to their boss, or they want this. No one really wants to buy a fast car. They want other people to like them in that car, right? Because it's like you can only go so fast in America anyway. But we have to look at like what's behind it, what's driving the decisions. This was popularized in the 1920s, I think it was, by Sigmund Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, which if you ever have a chance to read Edward Bernays stuff, pretty good. Pretty cynical dude, like take it with a grain of salt. But he has some good stuff. PR or press, I think it's called PR, something like that, or propaganda. That's his book. Really good book, and he talks about how this stuff's made. Like you look at it, and this is the way you communicate. This is how they sell messages to masses, by doing this stuff way. But it's very important to learn how people think, why they think, everything like that. All right, so part 6. Let's get a different color here. We have sales and marketing. Okay, a lot of people think sales is about pushing people to do something they don't want to do, but it's not. Sales is about helping people make a decision. Now, as an affiliate marketer, the cool thing about sales is it doesn't matter what you sell. Like anything they buy, you're going to get paid on. Right? So we look at that and we're like, okay, that's the key. So we got to focus on that and say, what are we going to do with this? Now, in this section, we're going to show you how to sell in person, print, social media, and video. Now, when you do sales, again, the key is knowing who you're talking to. That is it. Like, if I know who I'm talking to and you're the best salesman in the world and you don't, I win. Why? Because they say in sales that if you can describe someone's problem better than they can, you have a customer for life. Right? If I could describe your problem, they're going to buy whatever you have. So you want to describe it and you want to invoke emotion. Your sites need to not be passive. They need to get people to feel. They need to get people to think. You need to draw on the issues they have. Instead of saying, do you want to make more money? Say, are you sick of going to work? Do you hate your life? Do you want a change? Those kind of things, put pictures. Now, when you put pictures in the minds of the people that are looking at your site, that's when the magic happens, because you get them to think, you get them to see, and we all think in pictures, we all think in images, and that's how that works. And if we can go through and be like, okay, I want you to visualize what you're going to look like with this product. I want you to visualize what you're going to look like once you're on my opt-in list and you get my helpful emails. We don't want to spam, but we want to look at that and we'd be like, hey, this is how it works. You want to paint that picture. You want to say, this is going to help you get here. Do you want to have a better relationship with your spouse? What's it going to look like? There's actually, how many of you guys have seen on my webinars where I just read the list of those things where I'm like, it's incredibly easy to get started today. There's like a big list of them. Have you guys seen those? At the end, I think I probably have them on, I think it's on my hard drive that I can't access from here. Maybe they're on Simple Sites. But yeah, there's like a list of them, and it's like proven things that if you say, they put images in people's heads, right? And they make it easy. And I swear, I learned these, Jordan Belfort, which take with a grain of salt. Excellent sales training, not so great on ethics. So he's Wolf of Wall Street, so the ethics part probably makes sense now. But his sales stuff is incredible. Like, that dude will like steal your shoe and sell it back to you. He's like, dude, how do you do that? And you'll feel like you got a good deal. You'll be like, dude, that's great, so much better than my other shoe. It's like, it's the same one. It's like, he sold it to you. But like, I literally read those on a webinar with nothing else. I just read them at the end. People buy. Like, sales just go through the roof. Those are the kind of things you need to look at, is what can I add? Words on paper. I think it was Gary Halbert said, the most powerful force in the universe is words on paper. And you think about that, and words have started wars. Words have like divorced people. Like, think about texting. People flip out over text. It's like, and half the time it's because I like butt dial or auto text. They hit text the wrong thing, and my wife's like, what? What do you mean? But Think about how important that is. How many of you guys have gotten a text that like literally made your heart drop? Right? Or made you happy or sad, or was like, dude, I got a bunch of money, right? Think about that. You didn't even contact the person. It could have been someone else with the phone. It could have been automated, but you got this message that's words and your heart sank. Think about the power of that. And there was a exercise Gary Halbert used to do, and if you want to study copywriting or writing to get people to feel, Gary Halbert's a good one. And there was an exercise he did at one of his trainings, and he was like, I want everyone to write a letter to their mom. And he's like, I want you to write one letter that's like, Mom, I love you, or the greatest mom ever, blah, 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 I love you, I hope to see you soon. And he's like, okay, now I want you to write another one. And he's like, I want you to write one that's like, you effing B, you were terrible, worst mom in the world, I hope you rot in hell and die. And he's like, now I want you to imagine if you sent those letters. Imagine the different response. Was the paper different? Was the pen different? Was the envelope different? The only difference was the words on the paper. That's what we have to look at when we're blogging, when we're doing our sites, when we're doing our email, when we're doing our stuff in print. Because if you learn this skill, if I did not learn this skill back when I did my magic ad, I wouldn't be here today. Probably still be in that mobile home, which, no, I don't want to think about that, right? But think about that. That is the one skill. If you said, I'm going to take everything, taking your SEO, I'm taking your ability to do video, I'm taking everything you know about paid traffic, and you're like, you can keep one skill, the one I would keep is being able to write words that get people to make response. Right? It's called direct response advertising because we want a direct response. We want a response right now. And if you can get that, that's why at the beginning I said I want everyone to do paid traffic. Because if you do paid traffic, you have to get a response now. Because how many of you guys, after 3 days of spending $100 on paid traffic, you're going to start to be like, I didn't make anything yet, a little nervous here. Right? And I'm not saying you have to go do that, but how many of you guys would be like, now if you had free traffic and you got 1,000 free visitors, you'd be like, oh, whatever, it's free traffic, right? That's why we need to learn this stuff. That's why we need to really focus on it. All right, so part 7. Okay, I think part 7 is just kind of like a wrap up. I believe so. So part 7, we're going to talk about how to take effective action. So how do we put this together and take action? What do? Well, we go back and we look at what we had in the beginning, and we're like, okay, we got a big gap. We want to manage that gap. We got people right now that we can sell to right now. We can build a list. We can participate in forums. We can do this stuff right now. If we take that and we pair it with being able to spot the opportunity. So we look, we're like, there's these people. Right now, the big opportunity, there's lots of people online. You can go to people who have Instagrams and they do makeup stuff, and they will flip out if you give them $100 for an ad. And they got like 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, and they'll flip out because they're not making anything. That's an opportunity. Or you can go in and you'd be like, let me manage all your traffic. I'll pay you half of whatever we make. Like literally someone in this room could go and do that and make a living, a very comfortable living, right? Very cool. Email, email, banners, Facebook, YouTube, all this stuff we look at. So that's what we're looking at. How do we spot it, okay? Then we go through, and part 5 is understanding the human nature. Part 6 is sales and marketing. And now we put this together. Now what we want to do, and I'll get a darker pen here. We want to write effective ads. Learn to write effective ads. Practice. Try it out. If you're bored, instead of watching another video, go write an ad. Write something on Facebook. See what people are like. I'm one of those people who will go out there and I'll just start some crap to see who responds. Now, do it ethically, right? But that's kind of what I do. Like half the time when I talk about my political views in my videos, it's to see the response and to watch human nature. Like I watch it, and there's one video I have where I talk about that I don't like Rush Limbaugh and that I don't agree with Trump's views. That's all I say in the whole video. And people like write the most hateful stuff, and they're like, I know who you voted for, I know what you think, I know, and I'm like, all I said is I don't care for these views, and I don't like that. That's all I said. Human nature is to take something and go farther, right? But I do that because I'm like, one, I like to share my opinion, and I'm a little bit of a shit disturber. And two, to see what people say, see how they respond, see how they react. And we got to look at that, because either you're going to be polarizing and rewarded, or you're going to be passive and looked over. No one looks over it, right? Or everyone looks over stuff that like they're not going to remember. You need things people remember. Very, very important. So putting this in action, we want to go out and we want to remember money favors speed. Okay? The faster you get stuff out, the faster you get people in, the more you interact with them, the more you're going to reward, because it's like, hey, it's going to grow and it's going to grow. And the way our minds work, right? If you get something quick and you capitalize and you go, 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 it's going to build naturally because you're going to be in momentum mode. So that is the end of Entrepreneur Class Part 2. Any questions on that? Or any questions?
Where do you access parts 1 and 2 again?
Part 1 is going to be on, let's see, where'd it go? Did I close it? Are we still live? Yeah, we're still live. Part 1 is at affiliatedude.com/capital ENT, all capital, ENT, all capital. Okay?
And 2 is right behind it, same place.
2's here, so it'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be there.
That's also on YouTube, right?
No. No. That one is not posted on YouTube.
You had another one on entrepreneurship last Wednesday.
That was the webinar to sell the entrepreneur class.
Gotcha.
So this is part 2 of the paid one.
Gotcha.
So I figured it'd be fun to do here. Cool. So any other questions on that? Any questions on mindset, understanding human nature, writing ads? No? Okay.
One of the questions I have is more technical. How do you arrange those notifications?
Push notifications? You buy them, pushcrew.com, I think it is, pushcrew.com. Yeah, so you pay based on how many people you have. Now there are cheaper options you can get. Yeah, pushcrew.com. And I think we might have a plugin that does it, but I don't know if it's done or if it works yet. Cool.
I have a question.
Yep.
Pretty basic. But when you say that you go and you purchase someone else's traffic, how do you find that initial person with the traffic?
Okay, so what you're going to do is, like when you're doing competitive research, you're going to go through, and on the competitive research, those sites is where you're going to go. So like I would go and, do you have a niche?
No.
Okay, let's say you're in makeup niche. Yeah, so you go to the makeup niche, you would search for your main keyword, and you'd look at the people that are top 10, and you'd see if they have banners, see if they have AdSense, see if they have a little button that says advertise. Then you could go to buy sell ads. I think, did they change their name? They might have changed their name, but buysellads.com. And then you can also do through the Google Content Network. Google Content Network is amazing. Like if you do Google search and you're doing like the makeup market or something, if you get 1,000 clicks a day from search and you run content, you'll get like 20,000 clicks and it'll be cheaper. So that's a really good way to go as well. Yep.
You mentioned I think you mentioned a person about content writing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a course or
Content writing you can get at hirewriters.com. That's where I go. Now, they're not the best of writers, so you do have to edit. But yeah. So, and the cost, I don't know, do you remember the cost for Hire Writers?
I think it's like, you could get like 4 articles in like the medium area for like $25.
For all 4? Okay, cool. Yeah, so, and it's good. It's not the best. It's not Allie type work. She's like the best writer, but yeah.
What's your opinion about trading it for ebooks?
About what?
tradebit.com for ebooks.
Never used it. What is it?
Tradebit.com.
And like, what's the idea?
Oh, it's for ebooks for for giving away ebooks for opt-ins.
Okay, so tradebit.com, largest download store. Well, let's see. So first thing I do when I go to a site like this, I'm going to see if it's worth my time.
Instead of using, let's say, higher writers, you can buy ebooks for anywhere from $8 on. By niche, by segment, by.
Okay, let me see if I can get this on. We'll go through it. Button around here somewhere. Where the hell is that button? There, no, that's not it. Okay, well, see if it wants to work. There it is. So this is where you're actually buying them?
Correct.
Okay, so you're buying someone to write your...
When you're buying a pre-written ebook.
Like a resale rights?
Right.
Okay, is this resale rights?
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Okay, let's see. Source.
Because I was looking at that for my.
What are the prices like?
Well, anywhere from $7, $8 for a complete, like 30, 40 page ebook.
Okay.
By subject.
Source.
In fact, I'll pull it up on my computer. So I've got
I'll have it here. I got it up.
Okay.
As soon as we get this, I might be too close. Let's see. There we go. Cool. So this is TradeBit. So I'm going to look at this and see. So let's say I was in weight loss. Okay, so yeah, this looks like a glorified PLR kind of deal. The thing with PLR, it can work, but it's not unique. Like, they don't know your market. So what I would do is I would either take a PLR product and customize it,
Okay.
like maybe get someone to write 5 articles about stuff that you know the market wants and add it to it, or depending on your budget, I mean, I would probably pay to get my own written, because once you have your own, you own it, you're the king, like no one else is selling it. That's pretty powerful, and you can usually get that done. Have you ever seen that on Higher Writers?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's like $300 or something. But yeah, I mean, PLR can work. What I would do is
I'm just asking your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I would test it. Like, try to get some traffic, see if you could sell some. I've done some.
I would have to obviously edit it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so it's all right. They work good for bonuses too. And really, the only people who know what PLR is are marketers. So if you're in the weight loss, they probably won't know it. But yeah. And then Higher Writers. Let's see. So order ebook. If you were to do like a 100-page ebook, it's probably gonna be like $1,000 or something. $1,000 for a 100-page. $850 if you do like a less, but that's pretty decent. I mean, $1,000 for 100 pages, that's about as low as you can get. So, yeah, cool.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions?
You mentioned Gary Halbert?
Halbert. What I want you to do, if you can find books by him, get them. If not, I want you to search Gary Halbert MP3. And he was with this guy named John. And there's 4 MP3s, and I've probably listened to him like 50 times. Great. If you don't like dirty talk, probably don't want to listen to him, because pretty dirty. But for the most part, the content's good. So,
How
but
to make maximum money in minimum time?
is that a book?
That's a book that he co-wrote with Bon Albert.
That's his son, Gary Halbert.
The Boron Letters.
That's a good one. So Gary Halbert, MP3. I think it might be on Hard to Find Seminars. There's 4 of them. Let's see if I can find out who it was with. But those are, like, anything you could watch by him is very good. J. Abraham, I think, or Abram or Abraham, one of them. Abraham. His stuff's very good. He was the guy behind, like, the blue blocker sunglasses. Also, I like to look at old ads. That's, like, something that I just love doing. I'll do, like, old Gary Halbert ad. His dating ad was, like, if you want to listen to a good ad, he wrote an ad and put it in the New York Times to try to find the perfect wife. And it was pretty good. Yeah, it was a good ad. And if you think about, like, his whole thing, like, his main phrase was sell the foxes, weed the dogs. Sell the people who want your stuff, forget about the rest. Far too many people try to focus on, like, I want to make everyone happy, I want to do this. It's not going to happen. Like, not everyone's going to be happy. I don't care if you are, like, the Mother Teresa of whatever you're selling, not everyone's going to be happy. You're going to piss some people off. And he's like, if at the end of the day I haven't pissed someone off, I haven't done my job. Like, I should be able to. So hopefully not in this room, but maybe in a different one. Or maybe you'll discover at home or something. But that's kind of the idea, is like, hey, you gotta do hard-hitting stuff. Like, if you know that your stuff is good, sell it. Like, if you know, you're kind of doing a disservice to the world by not selling what you know is good. And that's, you know, it's like if you had a cure for something. Oh, that's weird. That's probably going to look terrible on the camera. Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. And shout out to the Southern affiliate dude. He should be here tomorrow, I think. Why does this shut off? What's that? Oh, the volume button? There we go. All right, cool. So, any other questions on this stuff?
You also mentioned that there's this good book on cognitive bias.
Yes. I will log into my Amazon later and get you that. Or let me see, I might be able to do it now that the TV's off. Or you know what? I think it's actually on my phone. I was listening to it too.
Blind spot?
That's one of them. There's another one too. Blind Spot was good. It's better on audio. Like, reading was kind of... Okay. Storynomics was decent for telling stories. Let's see what else. Propaganda. The Choice Factory. I think that was the really good one. I believe so. Laws of Human Nature, Robert Greene. What else? Also, a trick I learned from Frank Kern was read trashy popular books. Like, just, like, for me, I wouldn't read it. He apparently likes the stuff. Like, just, like, romance novels or something. Like, who was the guy? Anyone know that guy who sells 25 bazillion books a day or something? Howard? Carpetbaggers was one of his books. Harold Robbins?
Is that right?
I think you're right, yeah. Let's see, Carpet.
What about James Patterson? He's
Another one. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to learn is they use short sentences. Okay? And this is probably everything you don't learn, like, It's against everything you probably learn in school to write. But they use like short sentences, very conversational, stuff like that. Do they teach that in writing school?
It depends on what you're studying.
Okay, because I always have this impression that like if I taught a writing class at a writing school, they'd be like, he's wrong, just out, leave. Yeah, so Carpetbaggers was one. Now, I couldn't sit through those books. Like, I think I got halfway through one. So just read it for like the sentence structure and stuff like that. But you guys will notice, like, oftentimes I write very much like I talk. And it probably is good that I didn't make it all the way through school, because the average person reads at like a 7th or 8th grade level, or maybe even 6th. And you could tell because, like, look at the news. It's snippets. It's just little, like, people don't even think about what's going on. They don't even think about the stuff. It's like, well, that said that this person said that, so it must be true. And it's all headlines. It's all quick stuff. Like, the attention span of Americans nowadays is nothing. And that's why you have to really keep their attention. And you know, it's funny because I started doing those webinars with Kim, and she does a lot with Facebook. And the Facebook crowd has a very low attention span. Webinars better. And she was like flipping out that I had 150 people on the call at the beginning and 148 at the end. She's like, how did we only lose 2 people? Like, literally everyone stayed the whole time. I'm like, that's how it is if you pattern it right. One of the tactics we used in that I was showing her that was really cool was the stories. Did anyone, you guys all watch those? Did anyone notice how we did the stories? Did anyone pick up on it? It's what's called opened closed looping or something like that. It's an NLP term, which NLP is good, but it's not like gospel science. Like, it's not, don't use it to base your life on, just take it with a grain of salt. And he has this idea of opening a story, get to a point, open a new story, get to a point, open a new one, and you have all these stories in their head that have not closed yet. And they're literally, their brain is like, what the hell? I need to stay. I need to figure out what happened in the mobile home, and I need to figure out what happened on Kim's date, and I need to figure out why Marcus didn't clue into that. And then they're staying to the end to close all of them, because it's something in our brain where it's like you have to have closure. You know, that's a tactic that works well. It works really good in print as well. But you know, look at how like things are laid out. Like if you were to go to my sales page. And I never had any sales training. Let's see. So on mine, I want you to look at how it's laid out, because this is extremely important. Come on. Okay, so I would start like this, and basically what I learned is that a webinar, reading the page, converts like crazy. Like, so if you have a sales letter, just read it on a webinar and you're good to go. So I start with, here's exactly how you can set up simple little affiliate websites with funny clip art to make money online just from home. Someone who does it over 19 years. I deliberately have things like simple websites, funny clip art. Right, because then they're like, this isn't serious, like this guy just set these up. Then I have something where I go into a letter. Notice how short the sentences are. Notice how, like when you look at this, you're not overwhelmed. Like you want them to continue, you want them to read it, and then see how you never feel overwhelmed. And now, there's also something called the dual readership path, which is basically when you have a web page, people are skimming and people are reading. Now, most people are gonna skim. So you want to write this so it makes sense for a skimmer as well as a person reading. So if you go through, you have the headline. They're going to go here. I was extremely broke with less than 100 in my bank. there were so many different things, so many different scams, it was overwhelming. I felt lost and unprepared. It seemed like everything out there wasn't going to work. Is all a bunch of lies? Was they just trying to get my hard-earned money? In other words, I know how you see how it's like the same thing, but it's bigger in the print. So if they're reading it or skimming it, they're getting both. Listen to the rest of this story. We'll skip past that picture. Didn't really know how to build a site. So I started to think, hey, I'm onto something. Then I go in and we just kind of break it down, have little images like this, and then stories, go into the stories. See how that, does everyone get the dual readership path? Very powerful, because on the web, this is what people are going to do, and also in print. So you want to look at that and really be like, okay, how do I speak to these people? How do I talk to them? It's going to work. We do have an edit button, so you can go through there. So yeah, looking at that is important. Cool.
My name is Charlie. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here in Orlando, Florida, attending Marcus's boot camp, and I have to tell you, it's been the best marketing online experience I've ever had. I found Marcus online looking for ways to make money on the internet, and I liked his teaching. I like his follow-up. I really like his support. So if you're looking to understand the basics of affiliate marketing and more advanced strategies, there's nobody better that I've seen on the internet. So I encourage you to take a look at what Marcus offers. You'll love his training, and he'll definitely be there for you all the way.
Hi, I'm Jim O'Brien. I am also known as OB1. I am an accountant by trade, so this has been way outside of my normal kind of thing that I do. But from a standpoint of learning, Marcus is a guy who's got 20 years of experience in this industry, and while I was lost through the video system, what the boot camp has been able to do is to take the pieces of the puzzle and start to connect them better for me. So I would recommend this to anyone that's looking to build an internet business, because Marcus will give you the keys to the kingdom.
Good evening or hello to everyone. Just want to say, just join Marcus's boot camp. It was really nice. It was worth the. I've been to many conventions before where it's all about hype and they're selling stuff, and but in Marcus's program, he's a straight shooter. He gives you the information as you would expect it, and you ask him any question, he just goes beyond, in my opinion, and help give us the information that we needed. And I think that's really been helpful, and it will be very, very helpful going forward. So if you haven't attended the boot camp, I highly recommend it. Come here, join it. It's not as expensive as you may think, or like any other program. So because everyone is out there to gouge you, to get extra amount of dollars out of you, but not Marcus. And that's my word from you.
Hi, my name is April from Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm at the Simple Sites Boot Camp 2019. I got a lot of valuable information out of this. I found it very helpful to be able to come as a group and be able to, ask our questions live and get the immediate feedback from those questions. It helped me, I already have some ideas, but it helped me put together a plan on what to do next, so that it'll be easier for me to take action. And I just, I had a great time. I think it's great to be able to get together, like I said, and kind of not only get your questions answered, but also kind of mastermind about things. So this is definitely an experience that I would recommend.
I'm here in Orlando from Vallejo, California. Joe Sinclair, and with this technology and this marketing, the devil is in the details, and this is a great place to get not only the concepts but the details too, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I've enjoyed being here.
Hi, my name's Harold Reeser. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I came to Florida this week to join Marcus in his boot camp, and I've really enjoyed the experience here, the networking we've had, and the association with all the people, the affiliate marketers here. I learned so much about focusing on what our customers need, and that's the key to my experience here. I think I can go home and make a website that works for me.
I am Louise. I'm from New York, Long Island, New York, as you could probably tell by the accent. I loved everything about Marcus's program from the very beginning, the Simple Sites program that I joined. Very easy to understand. He takes it step by step through each video, exactly what to do. And he is hands-on in helping you out with knowing exactly what you need to do. I would say the best part about it was learning how to do I would say probably learning how to do the affiliate office step by step. Definitely a good program. That's something, a lifelong thing that you're going to have. So definitely worth it coming here. I had a great time, and Marcus is a great teacher.
Number one reason why you should come to the Affiliate Marketing Bootcamps that Marcus hosts. You connect with other entrepreneurs and you connect with Marcus on a genuine level. You share information between each other. You will not find that just sitting in your chair, just watching passively, just going, oh, well, that's nice for him, but that won't work for me. You will get away from that here. You'll connect with other people. You will learn from their life experiences, and you'll determine, okay, how can I go to him for advice? What worked for him? Can I apply that to my section of this business? That's the number one reason why you should come here. The time is now 2:06 a.m., April 17th, 2019.
So it's several hours after?
Yes, several hours after the conference was officially scheduled to end, but we were hanging out and, Marcus was smoking a cigar outside, in the smoking area. And we were sitting there chatting as a group. We were talking about how to do Facebook ads with it, how you could target.
Talking about politics.
Yeah, we were talking about other things other than just marketing, but we all learned from how it works together and how you can learn from it. Yeah,
The thing is, for the Marcus to give his personal attention.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason.
Personal guidance.
Yeah,
that's the key to. I've been to other seminars or conventions. It's all marketing pitch, but here there was no marketing pitch.
Yeah.
It was something that you already had bought into, and you come and meet the person who's driving force behind it, and then he gives you one-on-one as to, like what you mentioned was
the beta fish and stuff. Yeah,
what works for you but may not work for me. So Marcus kind of the ideas and then the knowledge that he has behind. Okay, what works for every niche possible that you can have, and how to customize it for your own gains.
Like we went very detailed into how to market a niche. We did website reviews, like what's good about your website currently, what needs to change, do you need to totally scrap it and start over? And we also did, okay, what's the best type of traffic for this? We talked about how you would break down a niche and how you need to learn about every single topic in the niche to be able to present the information in a way that provides a value to the customer. Because ultimately, you do not serve anyone but the customer who buys from you. That's who you serve. And if you can't provide value to that person, they will never trust you, they will never spend money with you, and you will never connect with them.
And just so you guys who watches this video, we're not the only people here that came to the convention.
Yeah.
If you watch earlier videos that Marcus will put out there were about 20 of us.
Yeah.
Not everybody survived till 2 a.m. just because, we were getting the personal touch, the personal attention, and the personal conversations.
Well, I haven't really paid for any classes since I found your stuff.
Well, no,
I'll be honest with you. I've paid for stuff in the past. Like during dinner, a lot of us paid for dinner with Marcus, and we would talk about, one of the things that personally I asked about was what to do with wealth once you have it. How to find charities that you personally should donate to. that you feel are worthy causes. You know, and we talked about, because this is a business that will make you wealthy if you work on it and are consistent at it. But ultimately, if you do nothing with that money other than just pad your own pocket, it is worthless. Yes, it will provide you financial security, but there's a lot more to life than financial security. And learning from someone like Marcus, who's made millions of dollars with it, but still lives a genuine life, and, you know, talking with him here until 2 a.m. He's a regular person. He's not somebody just trying to scam you and sell stuff. He's real. Like, I could pinch him and he wouldn't disappear. But you learn from the experiences of others is the biggest reason you get personalized support, and you find a will and a willingness to connect with the people that are here. Like, we will start a Facebook group for the people that have attended here so that we can continue to collaborate with it. You don't get that in large conferences.
No.
You get that in small groups that are just, you know, smaller settings where it's, if you have a question, ask it. In a large presentation, it's, you know, hold all questions till the end, please. We'll get to those. Instead of, okay, well, I don't quite understand this. Can you go over it again? You know, I asked Marcus at least multiple times to go over that on some of the drawings on the whiteboard that he has. In a larger conference, well, we might touch back on that. Just hold the questions till the end.
And to name a few conventions, I also have been to an amazing convention.
Yeah.
For the Amazon works, the ClickBank, you know, convention.
Yeah.
There are a few others that you know, that I don't recall at 2 a.m. in the morning right now. But so same story. There are presenters out there. They do their gigs. They come up on the stage. They get paid high dollars. And who pays the dollars? We do.
Yeah.
Because each convention starts at $5,000 from my experience. So
yeah.
In this one, we paid for the course, and that course included coming out to the to Orlando, basically.
Yeah.
And, be here with Mark in person. So this is the biggest value ever that I've gotten out of any program.
And this is the
As far as the programs go, we've only gone to small ones, you know, things that have been similar to Marcus in that, you know, they're small, they're personal, you know, they give you quite a bit of value because we don't like, and we can see personally just from watching the guys who are going to be like the ones we don't like,
Yeah.
the ones that all they're going to do is talk to you downstairs in the conference hall, and then they're going to disappear into the ether.
They got a line going to just talk to that person for 1 minute. So, and if you're lucky, you'll get your chance. Otherwise, they'll be like, oh, we'll have another session where you can ask your questions.
Yeah, and it's mainly a lot of the conventions that we've been to have been with real estate, and it's a totally different style with a laid back, with the individual. Yes, in one case they might give they talk to the overall group, but then once you get in on the inner circle, you know, it's much more laid back, and you can go in more detail about it. You know, how to find what you need to do. And it's the same thing here. It's not a large conference where they're trying to just, you know, buy my course, this is why. Or a webinar where they're trying to sell to you. You know, it's not that.
Actually, we are in a hotel suite that was accommodating for the 19, 20 people that we had. It was a personal setting,
Yeah. Very relaxed, comfortable setting. Just come here and be yourself.
You know,
and learn.
Comparable sized conference room itself, it wouldn't have been nearly the personal, close-knit situation that we got.
I'm sitting on a couch. There's chairs around. There's a table back there, you know, and it's in a conference room where you're all lined up in a row, almost like a lecture hall or something like that. You don't really get the interaction that you would here.